Welcome to another episode of the Terri and Frank Show, where we talk about the human dimension at work and in life. Today, we're going to do our first episode on people unproductive. You know, these toxic personality types that everybody goes, oh my God, I can't believe I'm stuck working with these people. That's who we're talking about today. So today, it's going to be the low empathy leader. You know, when you think about empathy, you've got Mother Teresa over here, high, super high empathy, and you got Hitler and Stalin over here, which is zero empathy. Those are the psychopaths. And then you get these low empathy leaders. So who are they? How do they come across? And how can you deal with them? I think that's what we should talk about today, Terri, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good because we've all interacted with these low empathy leaders, people that you just walk away from them and think, what are they thinking? Who in the world? Like what who raised you? Like I used to say all the time, were they raised in a barn? Like what is wrong with these people? Why don't they get it? And I really think that to some degree that people just don't realize it. I think sometimes people respond the way they do because they just really don't realize it. But then there's a whole nother segment of the
Yeah.
population. That's just how they operate. That's just every day. This is how
Who
I
they
roll.
are, you know? You gotta accept them for who they are, right? Because they
Yeah.
are who they
Yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
they're not endearing, warm personalities, but they are who they are. They can never tune into anybody, they're so focused on their own needs. They'll
Yeah.
never pick up on anybody else's needs, and if you're struggling and suffering and you're waiting for them to actually go, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're so down, what's going on?" You know, hell's gonna freeze over before they actually say that. So don't get hung up on it.
Yeah, they're just inconsiderate all the way around, thoughtless type people
Yeah,
that will say the wrong thing at the wrong time. They're almost a
yeah,
little bit mean spirited. I think sometimes people just find that button and they know how to push a button and they'll just do it because they
yeah.
don't realize the impact of what they're doing and how detrimental it is to the team. And then they just don't understand. I think overall they just don't get it. And so you have these people that, it's always the same kind of an experience. You'll be sitting in a room and someone shares something very intimate or personal and the person just like goes on to the next topic like
Yeah,
okay, enough of that. Like,
right.
oh, so what, your father died, oh sorry, moving on. Like that has nothing to do with the job, and you're just kind of taken aback like, oh my god, I can't believe that they didn't even say, I'm sorry for your loss or acknowledge that the person is going through something. You're just kind of like, man, we got to get the work done. The deadline is the deadline.
Right, right, yeah, it doesn't matter what's happening around them, right?
Yeah.
Nobody matters, it's all about the work and the deadline, and they don't realize that they can help people meet these life challenges, pick them back up, help them, and that's gonna allow that person to reengage and, be more themselves again, right? They just
Yeah.
people suffer and they need support sometime, and that's okay. That's
It's
life.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
totally life, and your job as a leader is to really tune into people and understand their moods and their baseline. I always walked around and said, "Wow, you look a little down today." And I would do that naturally when somebody's looking down. I knew what they normally
Yeah.
look like. They're upbeat, and are you okay? Can I do anything to help? And merely caring about them would pick up their spirits. They'd almost always say,
Yeah.
"No, it's okay. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it." But they appreciated the fact you cared about them.
Yeah. You walked around to find them, right? So you weren't just sitting in your office doing whatever it is that you're doing and only caring about how you're feeling that day. You actually went out to go see and check on people. You wanted to know what was going on. You
Yeah.
wanted to have a relationship with them. And I think that's a key factor in having empathy is even knowing that you need to build the relationships. The
Yeah,
relationships are so important to building the culture in the organization, and that leader has to take ownership of that. He really does have to be responsible.
they do. They've got to be responsible for making sure that, people are functioning at their best. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. And that's pretty awesome that you walked around talking to people, just kind of getting to know them as individuals. That in and of itself was just an amazing thing.
I did. I held the elevator for everybody, and, somebody just, the cleaning lady, whoever, I would always make sure I'd hold the elevator for everybody. I knew the cleaning people so well. I used to always talk to them, and I was one of the, top executives in the company, but they were as important as anybody else, I treated
Absolutely.
their
I
people.
can't tell you how many times people that are in support staff roles have saved my life with something very simple that went haywire at the last minute, whether it's from catering
Yeah,
and you're ordering this food and you get it and you don't have tablecloths, so you don't have the napkins
yeah,
or something simple. You've got all these people coming in for a big meeting and you want to serve refreshments. And so to have someone recognize that you're in a panic situation, you need it,
yeah,
and it's very time sensitive, and to get in that boat with you and try to solve the problem, that is
yeah,
huge. And I think that that response comes from the way that you treat people. People
yeah,
pick up on that, and when you are courteous and kind to them, they in turn want to be courteous and kind to you.
that's
So
right.
they almost just look for things that they can do for you.
Everything's
And
contagious. Everything's
yes,
contagious.
yes.
That's why culture happens, because, is it contagion good or bad? What kind of culture are you gonna have? But these low empathy leaders, they spread, "I don't care about anybody,"
Mhm.
becomes okay not to care about others. That is a huge deficit in a company because humans need to have each other's back. They really, really do. And, it's not to say people don't get into the wrong roles, where, hey, they're struggling and they got to go find something else. Yeah, that really happens. But you got to be there to have their back and say, this may not be for you. You ought to, what are your strengths? You got to find something you're going to be good at, or you're going to struggle your whole life.
Yeah, yeah. It's so important. Just that word care, just showing that you care. A lot of times
Yeah.
the situation is not so something that you can change, but just showing that you care goes miles with people. Um, People are
Everything, you
facing,
can never have a good culture. Great cultures start with caring.
yeah,
They do. I mean, of course, people say it starts with people feeling safe, and I agree with that. But if you want to create a great culture, that's just a safe culture. Hey, the
right,
caring culture
right,
is a pathway to belonging and everything else. That's where it's all at. That's
yes,
the door you got to open to the great culture, and then you can move on from there. Without that, you can't get anywhere.
right. You have to care about people, and you have to care about what people care about. So
Yes.
if I have to be concerned about my coworkers' children
Yeah.
because they're concerned about their children, their spouse, their parents. All of that is what comes into the door with the person that's coming to work. So if
That's right.
something is going on with mom, then I'm going to be distracted and thinking about my mom. So
Right.
I'm going to come to work and I'm going to do the best that I can. But part of me is going to be distracted thinking about my mom. And to
Yeah.
have a leader that's sensitive enough to recognize that, to say, hey, go take care of your mom.
Right. I would
This
always do.
work will be here when you get back.
Yeah, please, look, it's more important for you to take care of that. Or,
Yeah.
what I did in almost every company I worked at when I was a senior guy is I put in these compressed bye weeks where people could take 1 day off out of every 10. They'd pick the day. They work 45 minutes extra day. You know what that did? That allowed them to put all that stuff that had to happen that would keep them preoccupied at work. I got to go visit my mom. She's not well. I got to get to see my kid's teacher. I've got to do XYZ. I got to get the dentist. They keep putting it off. And that just keeps popping into your consciousness. That's an interruption.
Right.
Interruptions take 23 minutes to recover from. 48% of all interruptions are self-inflicted when you look at the studies. This stuff matters. I could see the productivity improvement immediately of caring about people at that level because I want them to have balance in their life.
Right.
Really,
Right. It's
really.
such a huge thing. Just and like I said before, it's the little things. It's always the tiniest things that make the hugest differences.
Yeah.
Um, that just the fact that you were aware enough to say people need that time where
Yeah.
have many different things pulling on them. They have many different responsibilities. Let me make space for that instead of forcing people to choose.
Yeah,
Because if it comes down to it, they're always going to choose the ones that they love. The job will suffer. So rather than put them in that position where they have to choose, you make a space for them to have both things. So I can be great at my job, but I can also take care of my mom or my
that's right.
children or my
I could
father.
feel great about my whole person, which is
Right,
important. Now, all the stuff you and I have been talking about, these different aspects of caring, are what the low empathy leaders get wrong. They don't do any of this. And
right.
how do you deal with these low empathy people who don't care about you? Let's chat about that for a minute because it's very important that people don't take this personally.
Right, right. And I think that's it. You can't take what they're doing as a reflection on you. That low empathy leader is just a low empathy person. So every area of their life, they don't exhibit empathy. You can just talk to their spouse and you'd get an earful about
Yeah,
how disrespectful they are and how disingenuous they are. They really don't take the time to get to know them either.
no,
So you
care
can't
about
really take it personal. You can't take it as a reflection on you. You still have to have that confidence in knowing that you are doing the best that you can. You are putting in 110%, as some would say. You're giving it your all, is really the way I would say it. You're really putting your best foot forward. And if that leader does not recognize that, then that's on them. It's not on you. It's not because you are choosing to perform poorly or just throw something together. You're always focused on doing the best thing. So if that leader can't recognize it, then that's really a flaw on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things you want to do is to absolutely understand who these people are, be able to tune into it because people interview in life, they take jobs with these people. They can't feel the lack of warmth. If you're interviewing with somebody who is stone cold, you deserve what you get if you didn't pick up on that. You got to tune into this stuff. Don't work for these people. Get away from them. They're never going to be good for you. They're not going to build you up. They're not going to nurture you. They're not going to grow you. They're not going to do the great things leaders do. They're toxic. And at the end of the day, you've got to get away from them. And there's low empathy leaders, and then there's no empathy leaders. We'll do an episode on them. These are the corporate sociopaths. They are the worst.
Yeah,
They go to the next level because they want to destroy you, right? They're even worse. They don't just ignore you, they want to destroy you. So we're going to do an episode on that too. Actually, the next episode, tune in, is on the corporate bully, which is
yes,
another personality of types of these people unproductive. And
that's right.
they're horrible. We've all seen them. And I've just felt other people's pain who are being bullied. Sometimes you got to go in and try to bail them out, you know?
Yeah,
Terrible.
yeah. That one is going to be a good one.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Next week, we're going to be doing that. Tune in next Friday when the episode comes out. You're going to hear about the bully and how to
Yes,
deal with a bully. Because
yes,
every one of these personality types you can deal with so you're not affected, right?
that's right.
Yeah, and it's all about how you interpret the world and those people around you, you know. I would feel a little pity for all these people, actually. That's one
Yeah,
good way to deal with it. They have an issue, don't make their issue your issue. That's one of the key things in life. Don't let them get to you.
yeah,
You're just know who you are, be yourself, feel good about who you are, and get away from them as soon as you can, because they're never going to be good for you.
yeah. That is very true.
No badge of honor that you survived a long time under one of these people. No way.
No, it just gets you more gray hair.
Yeah, it does. So, there we go. Another episode of the Terry and Frank show. I think this was interesting. Do you have any parting thoughts on these low empathy people?
Low empathy people. Who's got to love them? Somebody's got to love
Somebody's
them.
loving these people. I don't know who. They're bad. So bad. Ugh.
Yes.
I'm glad that, they could exist in the factories where they treated the people like machines and tortured them. And, if we didn't like you, we get rid of you. We get another part in here to stand by the machine and do something repetitive, but not in this world. That's over. These people are going away. That's the good
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, they
Really,
really are. Low empathy leaders, and there's hope for people that are feeling like, hey, maybe that's me. There's really hope for you. You really don't have to stay in that place of not caring. It's as simple as taking one step with one person and just care about what they're telling you, care about what they're showing you. So sometimes people don't always say that I'm having a problem, but they show you I'm having a problem through their behaviors and their responses. They may overreact in some way to the simplest thing. Be aware. Just be aware. There are so many ways that you can lighten people's load by just being aware, listening, opening up to people and let them share. So there's hope for that person that feels like they might be a low empathetic leader. You can change. It is possible.
it is possible. Caring is relatively easy. It's actually fulfilling. So
Yes.
I hope they find the magic of caring about others.
Yes.
Well, I think another good episode. This is the first episode of People Unproductive. You're going to like these. These are
Yes.
good. So we're going to be doing another People Unproductive episode of the Terry and Frank Show next week. So, Tara, thank you.
All right. See
All
you
your
later.
great insights. You are super at this stuff.
Oh, so are you. I learned from the best.
Oh, all the best. Thank you.
All right.
Arrivederci, everybody.
Bye bye.